Back on Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Head to youtube.com, put Locked On Sports Atlanta into the search browser. When you find that page, hit that subscribe button, leave us a comment there. Free and available as well on all your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify and Odyssey. Leave us a 5-star review and then give me a follow on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316. Okay, I'm going to give you a name. Saw a video yesterday, saw some commentary by him on Twitter, this, that, and the other, trying to get himself in shape, trying to get himself ready for the NFL season, okay? Now, the Falcons have some cash. They got some scratchole. They got some cash, some bread, some do-re-mi available to them, right? Need to use it. I know they're kind of waiting around to see what's going to happen with, cuts in training camp and things like that, but we've also talked about the fact that their pass rush, no doubt, is improved year over year, but it's not a finished product. You ready? Here's your name, Jason Pierre-Paul. Now, I've brought up the idea of Ndamukong Suh few weeks, whatever ago, was talking about the idea of, I want to play again in the NFL. The door has been closed in Tampa Bay for me. I still want to play. And I brought up the idea, why not line him up with Grady Jarrett and bring him in? I'm going to say the same thing about Jason Pierre-Paul. Why not give him a shot and why not bring him in? A veteran pass rusher. Last year, he played and started in 12 games for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Did not have a great productive season, 2.5 sacks. Although, when you look at our roster, 2.5 sacks seems like 20. But the last 3 years that he's played before that, at 29, 30, 31, 12.5, 8.5, 9.5 sacks. Is Jason Pierre-Paul the answer to all of our pass rush needs? No. Is Jason Pierre-Paul the solution to how to be a great pass rush? No. But is Jason Pierre-Paul a guy who could be a piece and a part and a help and a mentor? Remember when the Super Bowl run came along, right? And the Falcons brought Robert Mathis in from the Colts. Was he the same player in his peak, in his prime and all that? No. Wasn't the same type of player, but he was a guy who helped mentor Vic Beasley. He was a guy who was able to come in and mentor Beasley for it. And look, you don't expect a lot out of a guy like Pierre-Paul, but Dwight Freeney. I apologize. Dwight Freeney was the guy. Sorry, I got my other Colts outside guy out there. Dwight Freeney was the guy that they brought in. And he worked with and he mentored Vic, and it led to Vic having his best and really only great season in the NFL. Could Jason Pierre-Paul be that same kind of guy for the Falcons in working with an Ebiketie or even working with Lorenzo Carter? Why not? I mean, I'm not saying it will or will not happen. I'm not saying that the Falcons are a leader in the clubhouse for Paul. But certainly he's a guy that is out there on the marketplace. And I know he's 33 years old. And I know he's probably not the same player. But when you're talking about having a guy like that around your young pass rushers, and Lorenzo Carter's still a young guy, and Ebiketie's obviously a rookie, having a guy like that around can only help. I don't know what his price tag is. It isn't going to be a whole lot. The Falcons do have some money. Does he want to play for a contender? Probably. But like Ndamukong Suh, that's all great and fine. Somebody has to want, a contender has to want you. A contender has to want to bring you in and have the cap space to be able to bring you in. Not everybody's in that same boat. Not every contender is looking to add a 33-year-old defensive end. This roster has nothing to lose. This roster has nothing to lose by rolling the dice on an Ndamukong Suh and a Jason Pierre-Paul and guys like that. They have nothing to lose. There's no expectation. You're not signing Paul to a 5-year deal. So why not give it a roll and a look-see? Now, we'll talk about more about this in just a second, but I want to talk to you about my friends brought to you today. The show is by Coffee AM, coffeeam.com. You know how passionate I am about these folks. You know how much I love these guys. Your best small batch coffee brewer in America is right here in the state of Georgia, up in Canton. Coffeeam.com is the place to go. You want to check out their line of all of their different coffees, teas, gift sets. They have a wide selection of things for you to take a look at and choose from. Of course, again, I talk about this care package that they had sent me. Smelled so good. Open that bad boy up, and that aroma of those coffees. You like flavored coffees. You like different kinds of brews. they have everything available to you at coffeeam.com. A wide selection of different types of items in there. Don't forget to take a look at their teas as well. You like organic, you like fair trade, you like flavored, you like espresso roast. Everything is available to you at coffeeam.com. And we've got a special going on right now for our Locked On Sports Atlanta listeners. Go to coffeeam.com/locked on. That's coffeeam.com/locked on. Go there today. Take a look at their full menu of coffees, teas, and gift sets. When you put together that first order and you go to coffeeam.com locked on, do it. Go to checkout. In the coupon code, I want you to type in locked on, LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON, locked on at checkout. You're going to get 15% off of that first order. Coffees, teas, gift sets, it doesn't matter. Whatever your order is on that first order, 15% off by putting locked on into the coupon code when you get to checkout. coffeeam.com, best small batch coffee brewer in America. So look, why not give a guy like a Jason Pierre-Paul a shot to be a part of all of this? Now, like I said, I don't know if he wants to be here. I don't know what his expectations are, but guys want to play football. And maybe a guy like Jason Pierre-Paul is a guy who can come in and help change up the culture, and he wants to be part of growing something or this and the other. What would my expectations be of a guy like that? I don't know. Can he give me 3, 4, 5 sacks? Can he do that? He could probably do that in his sleep. And certainly, look, it's not a matter of Carter and Ebiketie are going to play every single snap that's out there. And the Falcons, to be honest with you, have very little depth after all of that, right? There isn't a whole lot of depth to going and sacking the quarterback after you get past those two guys. So it's not like it's not a massive position of need. It's not like the Falcons can, just let a guy like that walk by and not kick the tires on him. You need help at your defensive line. You need help at your outside linebacker position. You need a guy who can come in and sack the quarterback. They don't have those kinds of specialists, right? The old saying was that Mark McGwire was a one-trick pony. Okay, that's probably true. His one trick, though, was really important. He could hit the ball out of the ballpark. The only ballpark that maybe could hold him in was Grand Canyon, right? So, I mean, you sometimes need a guy who can be like that. I'm not asking Jason Pierre-Paul to come in and stop the run and be a run stuffer and do this and do that and go cover guys, whatever like that. You ask Jason Pierre-Paul to come in and do one thing for your team. That's stand on the outside. You see that quarterback, you go get him, you go tackle him, and make him come up and stand up and look out his ear hole when he's done. That's what you want out of a Jason Pierre-Paul. So, again, when we're talking about guys that we should kick the tires on, there aren't a lot of great names, okay? You're not going to find some young super stud. Look, Justin Houston the other day, that was a guy I would have liked to have kicked the tires on, but he signed back up with the Ravens. You're going to have to get creative. If we can go out and sign every bum Bears cast-off that's left in America, every guy who played for Ryan Pace, who got fired as the GM of the Bears over the last 2-3 years, why can't we kick the tires on some guys that maybe have a little bit of name value and maybe actually have a little bit of game left? Not every bum organization's cast-offs, right? At least get some guys that have had some success in the league. I'm not building my franchise around him, but maybe Jason Pierre-Paul can come in and teach my guys something, not be some bum cast-off from the Chicago Bears because I have their old GM and that's the only place he knows to go look for guys. And he has this big influence over my general manager. So before you dismiss the idea, go look at the guys that they've signed on this roster so far. You could do a lot worse than giving a shot to a Jason Pierre-Paul or an Ndamukong Suh or somebody like that. Yeah, but they're at the end of who cares if they're end of the career? Right now, your roster looks like a bunch of guys at their end of their career. You got a bunch of first-round picks that are on their third, fourth, fifth team in a handful of years that are at the end of their career right now, in their make-or-break years. All right, thank you so much for making Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery your first listen every day. Make A to Z with Mark Zinno your second listen every day. Mark is back talking all things Atlanta sports, opinions you may not like, but you've got to hear them. He is free and available on our YouTube page at Locked On Sports Atlanta. Hit the subscribe button when you get there. Also, you can download us for free on all of your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify, Odyssey. Hit that 5-star review button for us if you would, please. And then, of course, follow me on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316. We will wrap up the week tomorrow. It's been Hitting Hard with Jon Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta.